Welcome to The Explainer. We're diving right into one of the most urgent conversations happening in boardrooms everywhere today. We are giving you the fast-paced executive summary of facts on the realities of AI in cloud security. Everyone is buzzing about how artificial intelligence is revolutionizing security postures, but today we're stripping away the marketing hype. We're going to look at the hard data to see what AI can actually do for your cloud governance right now, and more importantly, exactly where its massive blind spots are. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the state of AI security, do a quick cloud infrastructure reality check, and then uncover some major SaaS and identity blind spots. After that, we'll look at the compliance and audit gap, what it takes to actually govern AI models themselves, and wrap up with strategic recommendations for tomorrow.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the state of AI security. Look, AI is fantastic at speeding things up, right? It can automate threat detection, continuously monitor your compliance, and crunch through identity analytics like nobody's business. But here's the catch. It absolutely cannot independently guarantee your compliance. There's no way it replaces human oversight, and it definitely won't eliminate your audits. Think of it as a ridiculously powerful engine. You still fundamentally need a human driver behind the wheel.
Moving on to Section 2, Cloud Infrastructure Reality Check. This is where things get really interesting because there's a huge gap between technical telemetry and actual business context. AI is practically magical at finding things. It'll spot an open port or flag a VM vulnerability in milliseconds. But without hooking it up to your CMDB, it is completely blind to the business side. It literally doesn't know if that virtual machine is just a developer's weekend sandbox or the main server processing millions of dollars in daily revenue. Without that executive context, an AI might completely misprioritize what needs fixing first. And think about your visibility. It practically vanishes as you move farther into the cloud. In IaaS, AI has a decent view. It sees your VMs, storage, and networks. But even then, it can't inspect hidden assets or shadow IT. Jump to PaaS, where you manage databases and containers. Now your AI is suddenly locked out of host processes and hypervisor logs. And by the time you're fully in SaaS, just managing users and data policies, you literally cannot see the vendor's infrastructure or internal patching. Your AI just can't analyze what it isn't allowed to see. Which brings us nicely to Section 3, SaaS and identity blind spots. Because you can't peek under the hood of a SaaS vendor's infrastructure, your AI governance is totally at the mercy of their API constraints. You're often just getting a filtered, delayed slice of audit data. We're talking missing admin actions, and honestly, the most frustrating part, premium licensing paywalls just to access your own security telemetry. It makes real-time streaming and instant threat detection practically impossible in a lot of SaaS environments. Then there's the massive scale of the identity problem. Large enterprises, you can easily have over 20,000 distinct roles and literally millions of permissions. Sure, AI can crunch those numbers in its sleep and suggest revoking unused permissions to lock things down. But in the real world, a human executive still has to approve that. Why? Because you really don't want an algorithm accidentally shutting down your end-of-quarter financial reporting just because it required permission hadn't been triggered in a few months. And here's a reality check that catches a lot of folks off guard. Machine identities. Think CI/CD pipelines, API keys, Kubernetes accounts, IoT bots. They now vastly outnumber actual human users in the cloud. But surprisingly, a ton of legacy governance programs are still staring only at the humans. That leaves a gigantic sprawling attack surface totally unmanaged and ripe for exploitation. So ask yourself this pivotal question. If your AI agent spots a critical threat, alters your infrastructure, and patches the system all on its own, who is actually signing off on that risk? Who verifies that the AI's fix didn't just break compliance somewhere else in the pipeline? Let's dive right into Section 4, the compliance and audit gap. You know, AI is great for continuous compliance. It can instantly check the technical doxes. Yep, MFA is configured. Yep, logging is active. But when it comes to formal certification under strict frameworks, that's a whole different story. AI cannot prove management intent. It can't prove that leadership deliberately designed a policy to lower a specific business risk. It can't measure the cultural security maturity of your staff, and it definitely cannot verify segregation of duties on its own.
To put it bluntly, your auditors still want authoritative, human-driven evidence, and AI simply can't generate that alone. It's not going to magically create legitimate change approvals, run nuanced risk assessments, or draft exception records. It definitely isn't taking meeting minutes for your architecture reviews or providing management sign-offs. AI will help you gather the technical artifacts way faster, for sure, but that formal, human sign-off, totally irreplaceable.
All right, on to Section 5, governing AI models themselves. Here's the twist. When you use AI to govern the cloud, you suddenly have to govern the AI systems themselves. You're opening the door to massive, unprecedented risks. We're talking threat actors using prompt injections or models suffering from drift and hallucinations that spit out fake security alerts. Plus, you've got to worry about data poisoning, bias in how security is applied, and accidentally exposing your intellectual property. Traditional cloud tools are really just waking up to these new AI-specific threats.
Finally, let's look at Section 6, Strategic Recommendations for Tomorrow. Things are moving incredibly fast. By 2026, we're expecting agentic AI for SecOps to really take off, meaning autonomous agents that don't just flag alerts, they actually investigate them. By 2027, look out for unified CNAPP platforms pulling all cloud protection under one roof. And by 2028, AI security posture management and continuous controls monitoring will be the absolute standard. But listen, if you jump into these futuristic tools without a rock-solid foundation, you're literally just going to automate your own chaos.
So, here's your playbook to actually maximize value. First, treat AI strictly as an augmentation tool, not a replacement for your team. Second, build a unified security data lake so your AI actually has that crucial business context. Third, make the shift to continuous controls monitoring. Fourth, stretch that governance umbrella over those hidden machine identities in SaaS platforms. Fifth, and this is absolutely crucial, keep a human in the loop for any high-impact remediations. And finally, measure your success with real business metrics, not just by counting how many alerts the AI closed. I love this quote because it cuts right to the core of everything we're talking about today in this executive briefing. AI serves as a decision support system, while accountability remains with business and security leaders. You just cannot outsource executive accountability, ethics committees, or risk acceptance to an algorithm. At the end of the day, the buck stops with you.
I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought to really chew on. As AI becomes foundational to your cloud security, are you governing your AI, or are you letting it govern you? I hope this explainer gave you the executive summary of facts you need to take absolute control of your cloud strategy moving forward. Thanks for joining me, and keep asking the hard questions.